Hi everyone, I'm Bronwyn from MYOB Greentree. In this video I will provide you with an overview of the eDocs sales order functionality that has been released in 2020.5 and then take a look behind the scenes to the setup involved. Let's begin with what eDocs Sales Orders is and the benefits it brings. eDocs Sales Orders provides the ability to import customer purchase orders into your system either via a file or an email upload. You have the choice to import only or have these orders partially scraped, so key information is populated to the form. The order details are then validated and generated into sales orders within the Greentree system. The benefits of eDocs sales orders are many. It is easy to use. It provides improved accuracy with the input of orders. You can process a very high volume of customer orders in a very short amount of time. You have the flexibility of using scraping functionality to scrape the bulk of the order header and line information for you. This saving in time and accuracy gives you increased business efficiency and lower operational costs, as well as a more efficient flow through the supply chain to your customer's door. What I'm going to cover in this video is a functional demonstration and the setup. In the functional demonstration, we'll look at imported orders versus scraped orders, navigating the eDocs order form, options that are available to you, validation checks, and creating the Greentree sales order. From setup, we'll look to eDocs type maintenance, eDocs module control, status maintenance, customer type maintenance, eDoc preferences, and customer maintenance. So let's take a look. As you can see, I have my workflow desktop open and have already imported some customer purchase orders in readiness for creating sales orders within Greentree. These can be imported via an email address or file location in the same way that other eDoc file types can. Once imported, our customer purchase orders display on the workflow desktop as an eDocs sales order. Depending on the license type, these orders are imported ready for manual coding or are sent off to be scraped. Here we have an order requiring manual coding. On the right is a copy of the imported purchase order, and on the left the eDocs sales order form ready for the customer to be selected and the order details entered. Here is another example of an order that has been sent off to be scraped. You can see all of the fields have been pre-filled in the header, and the line detail displayed in the footer. Information can be scraped at a header level or both header and line level, as is the case here. This is a very fast and efficient way of getting these orders into the system. From the Fields tab, we can see the type of information that is being scraped off the purchase order. This includes the expected delivery date for the order, along with key delivery information. On the header, there is the option to display the customer expected price. If any of the ordered items recently appeared on another purchase order for this customer, they may display on the Recently Used tab, where the system will try to find a match for the item. If a match is found, this will be automatically selected. You can easily edit the line detail if required. You can also select from any favourites that have been created for this customer. You have the option to add these as you go. Selecting Auto Match checks if any line mapping has been added to the customer since this order was imported. Here we have 2 of 3 lines that were matched, which saves time during data entry. On the Stock Item tab, we can add additional lines. There is a Quantity Available column where you have the option to automatically display the information or only display the information if Show Quantity Available is selected. As you can see, I have a negative quantity available. On creation of sales order, this goes through a number of validation checks, including the customer's credit status, if the order exceeds the maximum value for sales orders, along with inventory checks such as quantity on hand, serial items have been assigned to serial numbers, and if any kit set lines exist, whether these are stocked. Depending on the items identified, you will either be directed back to the eDocs sales order to make the necessary adjustments or advise the system what you want it to do. On selecting to create sales order, the insufficient inventory available pop-up appears. This is because we have a negative quantity available for one of our stock item lines. The usual options are available to you. You can oversell, place on back order, make to inventory if this is activated, create a purchase order or a shipment from this form. As you can see, my matched value does not equal my entered value. I have the option of changing the value on the sales order header or changing the quantity or price on the sales order lines. I also have an unmatched stock line that needs to be added to the table. Here we have the option of defaulting the location across all of the lines. As you can see, there's still quite a significant difference between the customer expected price and the matched value. This is because the monitors are coming through at $150, whereas on the purchase order the price is $10. And so we can adjust the price if we want to, or accept the price as stands. In this case, we'll let them have these monitors for $100. I am now happy that my eDocs sales order is correct, so I will enter the matching value. And when these two match, this turns green. I'll select to create my sales order again, and my order is created. In this instance, I've been taken directly to the sales order within Greentree, and we can see that all of the detail has come through for this purchase order. The option for this to display in creation is controlled by user preference settings for displaying sales order on creation. From here, the order flows through the Greentree process in the normal fashion. Next, we will take a look at the eDocs sales order setup. In eDocs type maintenance, we have added a new ESO sales order system type. Once selected, you can enter the sales order related defaults. The field options are similar to other eDocs types. From here, you can opt to turn on customer email validation should you want to use this. If using Scrape integration, you will need to populate this with the API key and workflow ID provided with your eDocs license. On the main tab in eDocs Module Control, add the location that the orders are to be imported from. In this example, we are importing orders from a file location on the network. Enter the export directory and company and select the ESO sales order transaction type. On the Licensing tab, we can see the system license limits for sales orders. Under Duplicate Script Options, we have added the option for Check Customer. In Status Maintenance, select ESO Sales Order as an allowed type for those statuses you wish to have available as part of the eDocs sales order process. This displays an ESO Sales Order tab where you can select any defaults related to that status and assign which users this is available to. A new Customer Type Maintenance form has been added where you can create specific customer groups and assign default options to these. You can nominate whether to show recently used codes for selection during the eDocs sales order process and for how long. You can also set whether to show the Favorites and Stock tabs on the eDocs sales order window, set the default branch, and options specific to this customer group, and you can select which customers belong to the group. In eDocs Preferences under Type Options for eDocs sales orders, most of the options are the same as for other eDocs types. Those specific to sales orders are Display Sales Order on Creation, which automatically displays the Greentree created sales order when Create Sales Orders is selected from the eDocs form, and Display Stock Item Available Balance with the options whether to always show or show only if the Show Available Balance button is selected from the eDocs sales order form. In Customer Maintenance from the eDocs tab, we can see all the eDocs sales order transactions and their statuses. From Setup, you can override any customer type default settings for recently used and specifically exclude items from the list should you want to. You can add favorites to your customer, add any known email addresses and whether they've been validated, opt to overwrite the customer type option settings, and make use of line mapping to match specific text that appears on a customer order to any mapped line type. Lastly, the ANA rule has been updated to cater for these changes. And that brings us to the end of this eDocs sales orders demonstration.